Morning.
Oh, you know what I think?
All right, Brenna, it never fails. Our computers are running extra slow today.
Uh-oh.
All right, everyone, welcome to the 187 District Court. Today is Friday. Mr. Ramirez, you need to make sure that mask covers your nose. Everyone needs to make sure they're on mute. These are the rules of the 187 District Court. Today is Friday. Let's keep it as a Friday. Armando Martinez, you need to show your video.
Judge, good morning. I'm here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Martinez.
How are you, Judge?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm fine, Judge. I usually put you on mute while you do the announcements. So we're here. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, don't mute me, Martinez. I'm saying very interesting things.
No problem, Judge. We're here. Good morning.
No problem. You can put me on mute because I know you know the rules. All right, this is the 187 District Court. You are in a courtroom. Even if you're at your home, at your work, at your office, technically you're in the 187 District Court. Do not do anything that you would not be able to do if you were physically in the courtroom. To all of the people at the jail, you're not allowed to use the chat box. You're not to use the internet. To everyone, this is not the Bachelor or the Bachelorette. You're not to use this as a time to pick up a date. You need to do that on your own time. To all the attorneys, if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, no matter how small you think the agreement is, you need to put that in the chat box. And you need to put that in the chat box to the court coordinator. She's listed as Ferguson Coordinator. Please do not call her, text her, or chat her asking her for a reset. I'm the only person who can give that to you. I'm going to open the breakout rooms. When I open the breakout rooms, it will invite you to a breakout room. Do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically assign you to a breakout room. I repeat, do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call you by name and assign you to a breakout room. To all the defendants and those who are accused, your attorney is probably going to want to speak to the state's attorney before they speak to you. If your attorney has not requested you to go to the breakout room, please do not ask to go to the breakout room. To all the defendants and those who are accused, you're going to hear your attorney's name called. Your name will not be called. If you do not hear your attorney's name, it is because your attorney is Zooming in another courtroom or else was required to appear in person in another courtroom. Trust me, you will get a chance to see your attorney today. Everyone put some patience in your pocket. Let's not turn this Friday into a Monday. If you do not abide by the rules on this Zoom, this is what will end up happening. To all of the inmates, you know there's a shortage. You will be sent back. We will be able to perhaps to see you in 30 or 60 days. To everyone who is Zooming from their home or their offices, you're going to be required to appear in person in the 187 District Court. So what does that mean? You're going to have to get a Lyft or an Uber, or either you're going to have to get the Via bus. And trust me, when you're trying to take the Via bus, you're going to have the hardest time finding change. If you decide to drive downtown, you're going to find a lot of construction, more one-ways than normal. And if you're able to find parking, you're going to find that it's very expensive. So everyone, if you're at your job, you need to let your employer know that you need to take a break. You need to find some place where it's quiet, be stationary. Please do not move around a lot, because when you move around a lot, that makes everyone dizzy. So everyone, let's make this a great Friday, and everyone put some patience in your pocket. All right, this is the order in which attorneys will appear. And attorneys, when I call your name, if you see that you're low on the list and you want to zoom to another courtroom, you're more than welcome to do so. To make the process faster, attorneys, if you'll add to your name like Michael Goins did, if you add the name of your client and whether or not it's criminal trial division or family violence, it'll help us move quicker. If you can't do that, I'll be able to do it for you. All right, this is the order. Robert Maurer, Ron Ross, Linda Corley, Michael Goins, Alfonso Cabanas, Karen Corby, Michael Gross, Patrick Valentine, Julie Pollock, Eric Reynolds, Nifa Carrillo, Armando Martinez, Edward Garza, Humberto Saldana, and Alberto Acevedo. Is there any attorneys whose name I did not call? All right, just one moment. I'm admitting more people. Eric Hernandez, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, and to the prosecutors, is there any prosecutor who's not listed as a co-host yet? If you could check for me, please.
Marcus.
All right, and now my computer is frozen. Just give me a second, Marcus, and I'll change it. Brenna, I think I jinxed us. You know, my computer is frozen.
Hey, Caroline, this is Norma, the coordinator for the 187th. How are you?
Brenna, I am back, but I was frozen in time. It just completely kicked me out. Okay, there we go. All right, and the last attorney I have is Paul Torres. All right, Robert Maurer.
Judge, I just need to talk to Michelle Hayden about a John Reisman. It's a motion to modify GPS.
How do you spell the last name?
Reesman.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, number 3.
Okay.
Ron Ross.
Judge, we have a plea on Elijah Kelly. This was put together yesterday. I have signed all the paperwork and returned it to the court. My guy's in jail, so I suppose I need to go into a breakout room and make sure he signs it.
All right.
Unless he signed it, I don't think he has, probably if he's in jail.
Well, we will see. And is there an Elijah Kelly on the screen? He's not on the screen yet, so we're going to figure out where he is. Let me put in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so your assigned room, though, will be breakout room number 4, but don't go there until your client shows up.
It says go there now. You want me to go?
No. Don't go there now.
Understand.
I'm just assigning you there. All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
All right, Linda Corley, thank you for changing your name.
You're welcome, Judge. We were here on Tuesday, I believe, and you wanted me to come back today so we could find out an update on the competency evaluation for Ricky Gutierrez. It had taken a while, and we tried to find out on Tuesday, but we didn't have all the information. So you said come back today. We'll follow up.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you to breakout room number 5, and breakout room number 1. And
Ooh,
I'm
I'm
going
number
to
1.
Yes, you're number one. I'm gonna send you to number one, and I'm gonna send Miss Ferguson to number one.
Okay, thanks, Judge.
Michael Goins.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is our first hearing on Ms. Fuentes, and I need to confer.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna send you to number 5.
Thank you, Your
Thank
Honor.
you for changing your name. Alfonso Cabanas.
Good morning, Judge. I'm here on Adrian Garcia. I've been conferring with Joe Ray.
All right, and thank you for changing your name. I appreciate that.
I want to keep it a Friday, Judge, not a Monday.
Hey, it's going well. All right, I'm gonna send you to number 6.
Judge, it's Michael. Number 5 never popped up on my screen.
All right, let me see what is happening. Ah, I can see why. It sent Michael Gross as opposed to you. So I'm going to send you to number 5. And Michael Gross, thank you for not going. All right, Karen Corby, I'll send you to number 7.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you for changing your name.
Next up is going to be Michael Bellamo.
I couldn't fit mine on with all that information.
I have Frank Hernandez.
Someone needs to be on mute. Michael Gross.
Morning, Judge. I'm trying to change my name and I'm sorry I can't figure out how to do it. I apologize.
That's
I've got,
okay.
Rudolph Montoya this morning, Judge.
Criminal trial division or family violence?
Family violence.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 8.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Patrick Valentine, thank you for changing your name. I'm going to send you to number 9.
Thank you, Judge.
Julie Pollock. Julie Pollock, going once.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, thank you for changing your name. I'm going to send you to number 10.
All right. Do I go now or do I wait?
No, I'm sending you there now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Eric Reynolds.
Yes, Judge. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for changing your name.
No problem, Judge. I've got 2 cases today. They're both dealing with bond issues. One's the set of bond, another one's a bond reduction. And I believe one's family violence, the other one's CTD.
All right. I sent you to number 11. Nifa Carrillo, who do you have?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I have Lupe Vigil.
How do you spell the last name?
Vigil. Vigil.
Okay.
And it's injury to an elderly, so don't believe it's family, but it could be in the family violence.
All right. Let me check the docketing sheet and see. Yes, it's family violence.
Okay.
And I will send you to number 12.
I appreciate it, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Armando Martinez.
Judge, I am here. Good morning.
Good morning. Who do you have?
Judge, I have Mr. Freddy's Cabrera, endangerment of a child. I'm sorry, this is a failure to evading arrest, Judge. Sorry, with a vehicle.
How do you spell the last name?
Cabrera.
All right. I'm sending you to lucky breakout room number 13. And I will tell you,
Excellent.
that truly is a lucky breakout room.
That's fine, Judge. We'll see they get the case dismissed. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Edward Garza.
Judge, I'm here on Colt Boone, but I thought I had already disposed of his case. I guess it's a CTD, and I think it's a restitution issue maybe or something.
All right.
That's what the link said.
That was when Ms. Parker was, Judge Parker was on, and restitution was supposed to be added on, and it was overlooked.
Yes, so that is the issue, Mr. Garza. There was supposed to be restitution added on because Judge Parker ordered it and it wasn't. And I wanted you to be on notice on that because I don't like to change orders and people not be on notice. So let me see if Mr. Boone is on.
He was also, I received word from probation that he's in Aransas County custody. So I'm not sure if Norma was able to get him on.
All right, what I'm going to do.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. Ms. Garza, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1, and Ms. Ferguson will meet you in breakout room number 1.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Judge, before I go to breakout room number 1, I came back with Linda.
Yes.
On her guy, Ricky Gutierrez, we're gonna have to reset it for 30 days because he's already scheduled for a scheduled to see a doctor. I'm sorry.
And is he indicted?
Yes, he is.
I don't have the file. To the clerks, could I have the file on Ricky Gutierrez, please? And Norma, can you put the cause number in the chat box?
Yes, ma'am.
And what date do you want to set it on?
We can bring him back in January, Judge, like January the 5th.
All right. And also, Norma, we need Ron Ross's client, Mr. Kelly.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Ms. Corley, you are excused. I don't know if your client was going to be brought over today or not. Let me check the docket.
No, he was not, Judge.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And I
Okay.
have to check on Ross's client.
And I'm sorry, I missed it. Did we get a date or you're just going to send me one?
Yes, it's going to be January 5th.
January 5th. Perfect. Thank you, Judge. You have a
All
great week. And if I don't see you, a good Thanksgiving.
Oh, thank you. You too. Have a great one.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Umberto Saldana and Torres, you all are on Mr. Friend, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And I'm going to send you all to number 14. It's just as lucky as 13.
All right. Thank you so much.
Let me see, that's 14 for Umberto and. Okay, so Paul Torres, if you'll go to 14. And I don't see Saldana on here. Okay. Alberto Acevedo.
Judge, I have Terrence Trudell. It's going to be CTD.
I'll send you to number 15.
Violence, I'm sorry.
Stephen Harkowitz. Thank you.
Morning, Judge. I'm here on Juan Ramirez to follow up on his treatment status.
All right, just give me a moment. Did your client enter a plea?
He was continued on probation back in, I believe, July, and he was ordered to go to treatment, and we've been
All right,
reset
I'm going to send
several
you to
times.
breakout. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. And Rebecca, if you could go to number 2 and give Mr. Harkowitz an update on his client's treatment.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, is there any other attorney whose name Roberto Ramirez? I'll send you to breakout room.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes,
I'm
Your
going to
Honor.
send you to number 16.
Your Honor, I was wondering, the issue before the court was, I believe, a motion to withdraw as counsel, which
I'll
was,
send you to number 16.
okay.
You're welcome. And who's the attorney in the courtroom?
Eric Hernandez, Your Honor.
This is Justin Cox.
All right, thank you. All right, let me see if the prosecutors are ready on Mr. Hernandez. Is the prosecutor ready for McGarity?
Your Honor, if I could speak to Mr. McGarry in breakout room for about 2 minutes.
Sure. To the courtroom. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4.
Yes, Judge.
Mr. McGarity, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4. All right, Justin Fox, you're back?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Oh, I apologize. No, I haven't been sent out yet.
Okay. Who is your client?
Deshandra McAfee, Your Honor.
What's the last name, please?
McAfee, and she's online, Judge.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
Family violence.
I'm going to send you to number 17.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, and Ron, has your client, I don't think your client has appeared on the screen yet.
I have not seen him, Judge. No, ma'am.
All right, as soon as he appears, we'll take that up. All right, Armando Martinez, what is happening with your case?
Judge, you sent me to the lucky room 13, and I got an offer of pretrial diversion, Judge, to apply for that, so it's good. I'd like to get a reset so we can apply, Judge.
All right, Norman, could I have a reset date in the chat box on Fredis Cabrera for PTD?
Yes, Judge.
Oh, my God. Okay, there it goes.
All right, we're going to come back on December 15th.
Yes, Judge. Thank
All
you.
right, you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Judge. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And Judge, I'm sorry to interrupt, on Ed Garza's case on Boone, I have to get a hold of the coordinator and just haven't been able to get a hold of them. So we'll probably have to come back after Thanksgiving until I get a hold of someone.
All right, and the coordinator is where?
In Aransas County, Judge, in Rockport, Texas.
All right.
Down by the
So
coast.
what date are we coming back? Could you put in the chat box, please? All right, we're going to come back on December 1st. And you are excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Raphael Leal. Raphael Leal. Yes, who do you have?
Leroy Gomez.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence? I'm sorry, what?
Criminal trial.
I'll send you to number 18.
All right, thank you.
Steve Harkowitz, you're back.
Yes, Judge. I'm being told that Mr. Ramirez was cleared medically back in August and that the DDRF facility is at capacity and he is number 10 in line.
So where is
They
Mr.
could not give me a time frame as to how long he would be.
And he's going to residential treatment, correct?
Yes, that was the DDRF program.
All right, so this is what we're going to do, Mr. Harkowitz. We're going to recall this, and we're going to recall this the first week in December. I'm going to need somebody on here from DDRF to tell the court specifically when he is going to be taken and accepted. And if the date is longer than what I deem is acceptable, which he's been cleared since August, we'll probably do something else, Mr. Harkowitz.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Norman, Norman, you're great. Thank you. All right, so we're going to come back on December 3rd.
Okay.
Thank you. Do you need to speak with your client?
No, not, there's not really anything I can tell them other than what we've discussed here on this.
All right, Juan Ramirez, can you raise your hand for me, please? All right, Norma, 16G can go back. Mr. Ramirez will be back on December 3rd. All right, thank you, Mr. Harkowitz, your excuse.
Thank you, Judge.
And Judge, they
Yes.
said inmate Kelly was on. I just don't, there he is.
All right, he just came on. All right, Mr. Kelly. Just one moment. Mr. Ross, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6.
Okay,
And I'm going to send your client, Mr. Kelly, to number 6.
And I assume the paperwork will be there for him to sign.
Oh, we shall find out.
I'm going to 6.
Okay. All right, everyone, just give me a moment.
I'm gonna read it.
All right, Robert Maurer.
Yeah, Judge Michelle and I have an agreement on the motion I filed, and I'll give you the case number on that.
I have it. Can you just email me the agreement?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
And
I'll-
then I will sign it.
Michelle. Yes, I'll see Michelle as well.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. That'll be done today.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Eric Hernandez, are you ready on Mr. McGarity?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, is there a prosecutor available for the PSI on Mr. McGarity?
Judge, I think Joe Ray was looking at that one. He may be in a
Okay.
breakout room right now.
He is. As soon as Mr. Joe Ray is finished in the breakout room, we'll take up your matter. Let me just go to the breakout room and let him know to take up this case next.
And Your Honor, I also have another matter, a motion for no harmful injurious contact order and to amend GPS conditions for Stephen Willis, an unindicted case.
All right, just give me a moment.
Very well, thank you.
All right, anyone else back from the breakout room?
Good morning, Judge. This is Alfonso Cabañas. I'm back from the breakout room.
Yes.
I confer with Joe Ray on Adrian Garcia, and we're announcing ready for trial, Judge.
All right, is your client in custody or on bond?
He's out on bond, Your Honor. He should be present on Zoom.
All right, we haven't received our dates for jury trial yet. Ms. Ferguson, can you give me a date in first week in December? And on that December date, we'll come back and you'll have your jury trial date for the new year, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that December 3rd? We'll be back on December 3rd, and on that date, we'll give you your jury trial date. Adrian Garcia, could you unmute, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your plea deadline date in this case has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements in this case. If you decide to enter into a plea bargain agreement, then it will have to be open to the court. The court will not accept plea bargain agreements after today. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we're going to be back on December 3rd by Zoom. And on that time, on that day, you'll be given your jury trial date, okay?
Yes, ma'am. It's gonna be at 9 o'clock again, ma'am.
Yes, it will be 9 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Cabanas, you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Okay, anyone else back from the breakout room?
Judge, can I see in a breakout room really quick?
Yes. I'll meet you in number 2. All right, Paul Torres on Daniel Friend.
Okay, Your Honor, we conferred. There's some call logs that are available for me to pick up at the courthouse, and I'm going to go pick them up right after we get off this hearing. So I believe we're going to review those logs in addition to the prosecution reviewing them as well. So I'd ask for another reset, and we're also going to be filing a bond reduction, which we can hear later.
Okay, so we're coming back at the first week in December because we've been doing this discovery dance since November 2020.
Yeah, I believe that's all that's left. And after that, we're going to be asking for a trial setting, depending on what's on the call log.
So Norma, we're coming back on December 2nd. And on that date, everyone needs to make sure they have all the discovery, and I'm going to expect a discovery acknowledgement. All right, Mr. Friend, we're going to come back on your case on December 2nd. And at that time, your attorney should have all the discovery. Do you need to speak with your client, Mr. Torres?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. We had a good lengthy conversation last time. He's aware of what we're doing. And like I said, after this next setting, we'll be requesting a trial setting and after the bond reduction is heard. So I think we're okay.
All right, Mr. Friend has his hand raised. Would you unmute, please?
I'd just like to talk to my attorney real quick.
All right, Mr. Friend would like to speak with you, Mr. Torres.
Very well.
After you finish speaking to him, I need you to bring him back to the main room. I'll
Okay.
send you both to breakout room number 1.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Patrick Valentine.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Dale will be accepting the state's plea bargain offer and entering a plea today. I've provided addresses to both Michelle Hayden and Norma.
All right, and let me see, the breakout room you were in is number 9. I'll send your client to number 9 and you all can complete the paperwork.
Thank you much.
You're welcome, Mr. Dale, if you'll go to 9. Nifa Carrillo.
Your Honor, I need to talk to Mr. Joe Ray again.
All right, I'll get you with him in a moment, but we are going to take up a hearing with Mr. Ray in just 1 second.
Okay.
Sure. Michael Goins?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Fuentes is not interested in either of in the pleas that were offered today. I'd like to get another setting later on if that pleases the court.
All right, it seems
Can
that
I-
these are
can I-
fairly,
Yeah, go ahead, Meredith.
Yeah, can we go into a breakout room again, just so I know where we stand?
Sure.
I'll make,
all right, Mr. Goins.
I'll be back,
if
Your
you-
Honor.
If you'll go back to your original breakout room, number 5.
I think she's in there right now, Meredith, just so you
No,
know.
she's not in 5.
Okay.
It's empty. Alberto Acevedo?
Judge, I'm back from the breakout room on Karen. We're still missing some discovery. Joe Ray went ahead and requested that again.
What discovery are you missing?
This case.
Fair enough.
What discovery is missing?
Judge, on the current case that is indicted, it's one form. It's a family violence form that it still hasn't been uploaded. All the other discovery from the time before has been given, the videos and the calls, but we're still missing that form. And on the one that hasn't been indicted, there's a new Berg have of a building. Nothing, there's pretty much only a warrant that's uploaded. So I'm reaching out to the intake ADA on it.
I know that
All right, Norma, can you reset Mr. Truesdale for mid-December, the second week in December for discovery? All right, we're going to come back on December 8th. All right, Mr. Acevedo, you and your client are excused. We'll see you back on December 8th.
Thank you, Judge. You have a good day.
Thank you. All right, we're going to take up the matter of Mr. McGarity. Mr. Hernandez, are you ready to proceed?
Ready, Your Honor.
Okay, let me just set us up.
That's the story. I mean.
All right. Court is calling 2020 CR 7995, State of Texas versus Leonard McGarity. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Joe Ray Garcia.
For the defense?
Eric Hernandez for the defendant, Leonard McGarity.
And are you Mr. McGarity?
Yes.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
And the court will note that the defendant entered his plea in this case on September 29th and consented to appearance by video. Have both the state and the defense had an opportunity to review the PSI report? State?
Yes, Your Honor, state has.
Defense?
I have, Your Honor, and I reviewed it with Mr. McGarity last night.
Any objections to the PSI report? State?
None from the state.
Defense, any objection to the PSI report?
No, Your Honor, but I do have 2 issues to address before sentencing.
All right. According to the plea bargain agreement, the defendant entered a plea of no contest and true to the enhancement paragraph. The court found there is sufficient evidence of guilt and found the enhancement paragraph true. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 12 years in the prison. The state opposes the application, and there's to be Chapter 62 compliance and no contact orders. State, you may proceed. Do you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor, state doesn't have any witnesses.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, before we proceed with sentencing, Mr. McGarity would like to see if the court is going to entertain his motion to reinstate bond and give him a continuance for sentencing.
No.
And then
The court will not
secondly-
reinstate bond.
Secondly, Your Honor, Mr. McGarity has informed me he would like to withdraw his plea and proceed to trial.
All right, the court has no motions. That will be denied. Defense, call your first witness.
Your Honor, I would call Leonard McGarity.
All right, Mr. McGarity, if you could unmute, please. Could you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You're gonna have to speak up.
I do.
All right, state your name for the record, please.
Leonard McGarity.
All right, defense.
Mr. McGarity, could you give the court a brief assessment of your current medical situation, your health situation?
I'm a type 2 diabetic.
Would you say that diabetes is under control?
Barely.
Over the past 2 weeks, what type of health issues have you suffered?
I've been getting sick. My toes and my legs been giving out on me when I walk, and I've been throwing up.
Mr.
when I
McGarity,
open
you
my
can
eyes.
lower your mask because obviously you're having difficulty speaking loud enough for everyone to hear you. So you can lower your mask so that we can understand what you're saying.
I've been barely walking. I fall down on my legs when they get up on me. My toes be tingling, my hands be tingling. Mouth always be dry.
Remove your hand from your mouth and please speak up so that we can hear what you're saying.
My mouth is dry, so I could barely hardly talk. My legs be giving up under me, and I could barely walk sometimes, and my sugar sometimes be high, sometimes it be low.
How high do they get? Your blood sugar?
Sometimes to 4 something.
And Mr. McGarity, what are your other responsibilities besides yourself?
I take care of my 3 daughters and my mom.
How old are your 3 daughters?
12. One of my daughters had a birthday yesterday, so she'll be 14, and then 15.
Mr. McGarity, please keep your voice up. Nobody can hear what you're saying. You're trailing off. So you have a daughter who's 12, one who's 14. What is the age of your other daughter?
15.
And who placed those 3 children in your custody?
The judge have been taking care of them since 2011.
Regarding those 3 children, has CPS ever conducted an investigation to you and the way you care for those 3 children?
No, they'll just be what's called it calls, saying it, but when they come and check on the house, everything's good.
Has there ever been any attempts to remove those children from your care?
No, sir. I feed my kids. I make sure they have everything they need. I do the best I can. I'm not perfect, but I do what I can.
Would you be able to continue to support your family if you were in jail?
No, I will never be able to. I want to know what happened to them. My mom's real old, and she needs me out there to take care of her and my kids too, because they're kind of crazy and bad.
Why do you think you would be a good candidate for deferred adjudication in this matter?
Because I'll go to work and do what needs to be done, and I will not trail off what needs to be trailed off. I'll do what needs to be taken care of.
Have you yourself been a victim of abuse?
Just hit when I was young.
For what years of your life did that occur?
Somewhat.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to speak up, Mr.
I didn't
McGarity.
hear that.
Like in 84, 85, 8.
And how far did you go into school?
8th grade.
And what made you discontinue going to school?
To pay bills, and I was young and dumb, stupid.
Do you have better hopes for your children?
Yes, but if I'm not there, then I don't know.
How successful do you think they would be if you were locked up?
Not that successful because I got one daughter that's bad, don't listen to nobody, and the only one she listens to is me. And the other ones try to follow in her footsteps.
Which one would you say is the bad one? The older, the middle, the younger?
The oldest.
And what grade is she currently in?
She's in 9th, look just like me, but a girl version.
Is there anyone else besides you who could support your mother?
No, not really. My sister lives far, and she really would not try to help. So I'm the only one candidate. All my other siblings, they just think about themselves.
And is there anyone else that could support your children?
No.
Where is their mother right now?
No, I have no idea. She hasn't been around for a long time. She pays me child support.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Judge. Mr. McGarry, let's start off with your history. You've been on probation, specifically deferred before, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that was for an aggravated robbery?
Yes, sir.
And you were unsuccessful with that deferred?
Yes, sir, because I was real young and dumb.
Okay, and you were revoked and sentenced 7 years, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then after that, you picked up a possession case
Yes, sir.
and you served 2 years for that one?
Probation.
Okay. And it's been since 2009 since you've been on that, since you picked up another felony case?
Yes, sir. I'm trying to stay out of trouble as best I can.
Okay. Now let's move on since there was no mention of her before. Who is Juanita? How do you know her, the victim in this case?
Stepdaughter.
Sir, you keep muting and I can't hear your full answer.
Stepdaughter.
Okay, Juanita is your stepdaughter. And how long was she living with you before this case?
2019.
Okay, so a few years. And as you stated in your words through the report, Juanita is special, right?
Yes.
Okay, and by special, you mean she has some mental disabilities?
She's like bipolar and cries a lot.
Okay.
That I know of.
And Juanita's always been in special education. She's been in special ed.
Yes, half. And she has some classes that were special ed and some.
Okay, and would you say, is it fair enough to say that when you speak to Juanita, it's apparent that she has some mental issues, some mental disabilities?
Yes.
Okay, and even though she has these mental disabilities and she's your stepdaughter, you still decided to have sexual relations with her.
Yeah, so I was not in my right mind too. I was drunk too when she come to.
Okay, so you mentioned that, and you said in the PSI report, you would come home drunk and high, and that's when this person with special needs would take advantage of you.
Yep.
Okay.
One time she told my mom she was gonna put me to sleep. Mom told me the other day.
I'm not understanding your answer, sir.
You need to repeat that, Mr. McGarity.
One time she told my mom she was gonna put me to sleep. I could really talk.
Are you saying that one time she told her mother she was going to put you to sleep?
My mom.
Okay.
Okay. And these were times where you were drunk and high?
Yes.
And you just stated that you're the one responsible for your 3 young daughters, right?
Yes.
And you're coming home so high and drunk that Juanita can take advantage of you?
Well, she was 19. My other daughters don't think like that. They don't, you know. I haven't stopped doing that, and I stopped doing that already when I caught this case. So I stopped drinking and smoking.
Did you say when you caught this case, you stopped drinking and getting high? Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Is that also when you stopped becoming a gang member?
A little bit before then, yeah.
So before you picked up this case, just to make it clear, you were coming home drunk and high. You were sleeping with your stepdaughter who had special needs, and you were a gang member.
Don't know who it was, never saw her. As I was picking up.
I stopped being a gang member for a long time. Before then, I was like trying to get out of it little by little.
Threw down the trash cans all over. I had to use the restroom.
Okay.
I took a rock and cleaned the window that was already busted.
And
we're going to the potty.
that Juanita is in your care.
Lane, Santon police came with
You're
guns.
having these sexual relations with her, and you still decided to kick her out of your house and throw away all her clothes. Is that right?
No, I didn't do all that.
You didn't throw away all her clothes and belongings?
No, I didn't do that. I didn't kick.
Mr. McGarity, here's the situation. What I want you to do is I want you to speak loudly and I want you to speak clearly. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And Your Honor, for the record, at all times since I've been representing Mr. McGarity, his speech is always a little bit slurred like that. It's difficult to understand, but that's just his manner of speaking.
Thank you, counsel. All right, State.
Yes, I don't believe I got the answer, Judge. So, Mr. McGarity, where we left off, you're saying that you close and kick her out of your house.
No, I did not do all that.
Okay, are you aware?
When we were moving, my sister was at the other house and she's the one that did all that. I haven't done none of that.
Right.
Okay, are you aware in the report that when she was kicked out of your house, she went to an old teacher's residence for help? Ms. Mahler? Are you aware of that?
Yes, Ms. Moore called me and told me.
Okay, and that, go ahead.
Yeah, she called me and told me like, but after this CPS came to my house and told me all this other stuff.
Okay, and she called you and told you that, and in the report that you stipulated to, she also said that you kicked her out and threw away all of her clothes, so you have nothing to give back to her.
No, I told her all her clothes was in the storage.
That's correct, sir. That's correct.
Okay, so if it's in the report that you threw away all her clothes, that's wrong. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, but you did kick her out of your house?
Not till she's not allowed back because of what she said in the report that I got.
Yes, sir.
I'm talking about before there was this report. She was kicked out of your house.
I didn't kick her out personally, see, that's the thing. My sister did. You see what I mean? I didn't even tell her nothing. She disappeared for 2 days before we moved. I didn't know where she was at. You see what I mean? She disappeared for 2 days, and there was in a report where I told them I had a paper saying where she disappeared, but she said she's old enough so she could do what she wants. She's not a little kid, so for missing person thing. She said she's not a little kid, so she could do what she wants. She's old enough. She's 19, she can do whatever she wants.
Okay, she can do whatever she wants, and that's including having sexual relations with you. Is that right?
No, you see, you're trying to switch everything. I said, the cop said she could do everything she wanted when I tried to do a missing person report. And she was gone for 2 days, you know what I mean? You see, you're trying to do a little thing on me, man. And I couldn't do nothing about it, so I didn't throw her out. She disappeared when we were moving to a new place. So what
Mr.
can I do?
McGarry, let me ask you real quick. Let's just be clear. You said that she can do whatever she wanted because she was 19 at the time, right?
That's what the piece said when I said, I'm gonna do a missing report.
Is that a yes or no? She can do whatever she wants because she's 19.
I guess so. That's what you're saying, man. I don't know. You trying to twist my words.
No, let's go around them. Clear. And she was in your care with mental disabilities
They thought I stole something.
that are very apparent. Is that right?
100. And I accidentally took a little blue letter,
that a
slipped
yes?
it in my pocket. I did that, but I wasn't stealing it. I got behind me. Paid me. Long story short, he said, Timmy, I got that. He knew who I was. I didn't know who he was, but he knew who I was. I don't know how, but long. I do. Because of this piece of paper right here, the offense, the excess burglary of building with intent to theft. That's what it says here. Sure. Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. McGarity, are you ready to answer the question?
Yeah, no.
Okay, so if you can answer the question, please.
Yes, I guess so, yes.
Okay. I have no further questions, Judge.
All right, defense, any follow-up?
Yes, Your Honor, just a couple quick questions. Mr. McGarity, when we reviewed the PSI, there were statements about you looking for them in a black van. Do you own a black van?
No.
While you were out on bond, what conditions were placed on you?
GPS monitor.
With that GPS monitor, could you freely move about the city without notifying the officer?
No, if I stepped so far, that thing was off.
Thank you, Mr. McGarry.
All right,
No
any
further
follow-up
questions,
questions?
None from the state, Your Honor.
All right, defense, call your next witness.
Your Honor, I'd call Fran McGarity, the defendant's mother.
All right, if you approach, please.
Your Honor, can she sit?
Yes.
No one sit? No, because if I sit, I can get back up. Okay. Go ahead.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand if you could state your name for the record, please.
My name is Fran M. McGarity.
All right, defense?
Thank you, Your Honor. And Ms. McGarity, you are the defendant's mother, correct?
Yes.
You know that he's currently trying to apply for deferred adjudication on these charges. Are you aware of
Yes.
that? And are you aware of the charge that he has pending?
No, nobody has ever told me nothing, not even his lawyer or anybody, so.
Okay. Has he ever told you what he's charged with?
No, because he don't like to get me upset because I get upset too quick and I start.
Very well. Do you believe he would be successful if the court granted him deferred adjudication?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, since their mother left in 2011, the judge gave my son custody of my grandkids.
McGarity, let me interrupt you. You have to answer the question that's asked of you. I realize there's a lot of information you want to share with the court, but you have to answer the question asked, okay? So I'm going to repeat my question. Do you believe he would be successful if the court granted him deferred adjudication or a form of supervision?
Yes, he would be successful because he's trying to do for his kids and me.
And you said the children were placed in his custody. Why were they placed in his custody?
Because, well, I'm gonna tell you, Ms. Sheriff Huerta was a drug addict, and she told the judge she didn't, excuse my French there, she said she didn't give a fuck about her kids. None of them. She gave him legal custody of his 3 daughters. The rest of the other ones, no. But she didn't want none of them.
And are you
So my son wasn't gonna leave him in the street, the other 3.
and are you aware of Mr. McGarity's current health situation?
Yes, he's a diabetic too, and he had insurance, but when he had to go to work to support his kids, he got off of his insurance, and he's been taking care of them.
Has he been taking care of himself?
Lately, no, because he don't have no money to see a doctor or get his insulin. Because he does it more for his kids, try to pay the bills and everything in the house and get the kids what they want. That's what my son's been doing.
And what do you believe would happen to him if he was placed in TDC?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, everything's going down the hill. Because right now, their mother's trying to get hold of my grandkids. She ain't gonna get them. That's for sure. She's never been around them or anything.
And who currently lives in your home?
It's my son and my 3 grandkids, and I have a friend that comes over that's a friend to me and my son. She comes to help me with my grandkids when I need help.
And since Mr. McGarity was picked up and placed in Bexar County Jail as of Tuesday, how have the kids responded?
Well, right now, I got one in the hospital. She tried to kill herself. So and the other 2 are going flip, but I try to make my best. I take them to the doctors. I take them to school. That's it.
And do you believe that Mr. McGarity's presence would make a difference if he were back at home?
Yes, because they miss their daddy, because he's the only one that's been there. Their mama's never been around. The baby of the family, she's having flashback what her mother and her grandmother used to do to her.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, State?
Briefly, Judge. Ma'am, let me ask you, you said it'd be easier if he's back at home with y'all. Do you believe your son, Mr. McGarity, is a good role model for?
Yeah. Yes, he is, because they trust him and they do what he tells them. Make sure you help your grandma clean the house and everything.
Okay, and you were here while we were questioning earlier. So were you aware that he was coming home intoxicated and high?
Before, back then, I can't remember most of it, but sometimes he used to go out, try to, enjoy himself. The oldest stepdaughter, she didn't like none of that. She didn't want nobody around him or anything. And she told me she was gonna get even with him. I said, you keep doing it, you can go to jail.
Okay, so you were aware of what
Leave the house.
the oldest stepdaughter, you're talking about Juanita.
Yeah, Juanita Davila.
Okay, and you're aware that they were having sexual relations?
No.
No. No further questions, Judge.
All right, any further questions of this witness?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Call your next witness.
No other witnesses, Your Honor.
All right, State, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor, just argument.
All right, the court will hear argument. State.
Judge, first off, I think it's important to note that through the sentencing hearing, there was no mention of regret or even mention of Juanita by the defendant when he has the opportunity to let the court know and address that. Even reading the PSI, he is putting the blame on someone who even he admitted has apparent mental disabilities, who is disabled intellectually. I want to note that's a reason why she wasn't called today on her behalf. We spoke to her, our office spoke to her, and that's a reason dealing with this, coping with it, going through the court, why she wasn't called. But I believe that the facts and the PSI say enough. Judge, we're requesting, we are opposed to the application for probation. We don't believe, for the nature of the offense, based off his history, that he would be a good candidate for probation. We leave it into the court's discretion between the cap of 12 years for prison time TDC. Thank you.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, Mr. McGarity in the PSI does admit that what he did was wrong. And he does go on to say that it was just a weakness he found within himself. Furthermore, the PSI supports that there is an education problem with Mr. McGarity himself. In eighth grade, he withdrew from school and began working. He has been unsuccessful on probation before, and me and him talked about that last night, Your Honor. He did go on to say that his responsibilities have changed from when he was younger to who he is now. He's got 3 children he has to take care of, as well as his mother. He's the sole provider of his family. He's the one that makes sure the bills get paid and that the food gets brought in and cooked, Your Honor. To take him away from his family would put him at risk and them at risk. He's also got a medical condition that he's been dealing with that's certainly not under control if his sugars are getting up to 400, despite what he represents. A blood glucose level of 400 does not represent somewhat under control. I think anyone would agree. So, Your Honor, we would ask the court to consider granting him some supervision in this case and not sending him to TDC. Thank you, Judge.
All right, my question would be, why is Child Protective Services allowing someone who admittedly is using drugs, being intoxicated, had continuous sex with his stepdaughter, have custody of a 12, a 14-year-old, and a 15-year-old? Can anyone answer that question for me?
Your Honor,
Does anyone know?
I believe, Your Honor, in the CPS reports that were provided to me as part of the e-discovery, they talked to the 3 children that are in his care, custody, and control, and none of them made an outcry specifically when asked about that.
Okay.
Why they chose not to act, I cannot tell you, but they found no credible evidence to consider that a risk.
Okay. All right. This is what the court's going to do. The court will deny the application, sentence you to 12 years in prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be Chapter 62 compliance. No contact with Juanita Davila and Elaine Myler, M-A-H-L-E-R, showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it, Mr. McGarity? It has your signature on it, Mr. McGarry.
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Also, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand, Mr. McGarry?
Yes.
If there is a question over the definition of what a weapon is, you'll need to contact an attorney. All right, do you need to speak with your client anymore, Mr. Hernandez?
Your Honor, I will meet with him at some point, Your Honor. I've got the other matter that I don't know when the court's going to take that up, so I'll either meet with him now.
Yes, I'll take that up after we do the plea. I'll have you a chance to speak with the prosecutors on that. But I'm going to take up a plea matter in another case, and then we'll take care of that matter. Norma, can you let them know? Yes?
I'm going to connect in that back with my phone through Zoom, and I'll meet with him back there, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Norma, can you let them know that 17B can go back?
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right, and the parties on Kelly. Who are the parties on Kelly for the plea?
Judge, I'm here and Michelle Hayden is the prosecutor.
All right, let me see if she's here or in a breakout room. All right, is there anyone who's available to take this plea for Michelle?
I can take a Judge Joey.
Thank you. Court is calling 2019 CR 6038, State of Texas versus Elijah Kelly. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Joe Ray Garcia.
For the defense?
Ron Ross.
And are you Mr. Kelly?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
None, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No objections.
Mr. Kelly, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Off the record for a moment. Mr. Hernandez, what is your client's name? Eric Hernandez.
Stephen Willis, Your Honor.
What is the cause number?
It is CN 091308, and he is in the courtroom.
Criminal trial division or family violence?
Family violence, Your Honor.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 4.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Ballantyne, do you have all your paperwork?
Judge, I just put Patrick in room 2.
All right, thank you. All right, we're back on the record. Counsel, I'm showing you what's entitled acknowledgement of discovery. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Kelly, I'm going to show you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do.
State, it appears that you're proceeding on the lesser included offense of indecent assault as a Class A misdemeanor. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objections.
Mr. Kelly, I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments and defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of indecent assault as a Class A misdemeanor? The range of punishment is up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses that the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, he has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Kelly, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the offense of indecent assault as a Class A misdemeanor. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. There's no applications, credit for time served, and no contact with the complainant. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, it is, Judge.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
All right, just give me one moment, please. All right, next, Mr. Kelly, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then, Mr. Kelly, to the lesser included offense of indecent assault, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Not guilty. I mean, guilty.
State any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea.
It offers States Exhibit 1 and all its attachments.
And no objection. No objections.
And Mr. Ross, was it your client's intent to plead guilty? Is that correct?
That is correct, Judge.
Mr. Kelly, I'm going to show you what's entitled Wavering Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence States Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right. After reviewing States Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I would ask you to go along with the agreement. I just want the judge to know that this young man has multiple mental health issues. And unfortunately, the incident happened. He had a problem at home. He had a seizure, a mental breakdown. The police took him, emergency detention, took him to the San Antonio Behavioral Hospital. The police and the hospital left him in a waiting room for over an hour and left him with the minor in his mental health condition when this incident happened. Just because of maybe it's one of the personalities he has came into play. I don't know, but he's been in jail for 2.5 years. When he gets out, he's going to return and live with his mother. He's going to live with his mother the rest of his life.
Okay, and so the record to be clear, he's been in jail for 2.5 years because he had the competency evaluation and then he had to become competent.
That's correct. It took a long time to get the evaluation, and then he became competent. Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay. All right. Then the court will follow your agreement. Court will sentence you to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail, give you credit for any time served, and there's to be no contact with the victim in this case. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And this was intended to be a judgment satisfied. Is that correct?
That is correct, Judge.
All right. The court will note that this is a judgment satisfied. Mr. Kelly, you need to make sure that you take your medications. If there's a problem with your medications or side effects, you need to let the doctor know, because they don't know if you don't tell them. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Kelly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ross. Have a great rest of your day.
You have a great Thanksgiving. Everybody on the screen, all of my colleagues, you all have a great.
Oh, thank you so much. Norma, Mr. Kelly can go back.
Yes, ma'am.
Colleagues and staff members too.
Oh, thank you.
And the prosecution also. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving.
Don't leave anyone out.
Don't want to leave anybody out.
This is like Tiny Tim. Bless us, everyone.
Exactly right. Exactly. Bye-bye.
All right, and it's Friday. Okay. All right. Is there anyone who's ready?
Your Honor, could you place me back in breakout room 4? I got disconnected, and so that was my fault.
No, no problem.
Judge,
All right,
I'm ready
Nifa.
on Rudolph Montoya.
Okay, I'm going to do Michael Gross, then I'm going to do Nifa, then I'm going to do Eric Reynolds. Michael Gross.
Judge, I spoke with the prosecutor, Caitlin Wilkes, and we're respectfully requesting a 60-day reset to finish up on the discovery or try to finish up on the discovery.
Why is it taking so long on discovery?
Facebook is giving me such a hard time, Judge, as are the providers for the cell phones. And so Caitlin has been nice enough to say that she'll help me out to get that problem fixed. And then the CPS records I received were not complete, and Caitlin's going to help me with that also.
So we need Facebook, CPS records, and phone, correct?
That's correct, Judge.
All right, Norm, can I have a 30-day reset? We'll see where you are when you all come back.
Judge, one other thing that Ms. Wilkes and I spoke about, with Mr. Montoya's job, it requires sometimes he has to meet with clients after 9 p.m. We'll know about that in advance. Ms. Wilkes is okay with it, and I wanted to ask your permission, Judge, of course. If we know about it well enough in advance and I file a motion about that, if that would be okay, just every now and then, to have that 9 p.m. extended by court order, just for a particular day.
Well, if there's no objections from the state, just send me an email to that effect as it comes up.
Will do, Your Honor. You want me to email it or do a motion?
You can do an agreed order as it comes up and just email it and include Ms. Wilkes in the email, and I'll print it out.
Will do, Judge. Thank you very much.
All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to come back on December 15th just to see where we are so this doesn't fall through the cracks. I know neither one of you would let that happen, but that's what we will do. And Mr. Montoya, on December 15th, you will be excused from appearing. It's just for your attorney to make sure that he has all the discovery.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Judge.
And Norma, if you could note that the defendant is excused on that day.
Yes, sir.
All right, if there's nothing else, both parties are excused.
Thanks, Judge. Have a great weekend, everyone. Great Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Judge. Happy
Thank you,
Thanksgiving.
you too. All right, thank you. Nifa Gallegos. I'm sorry, I always say Nifa Gallegos Carrillo. Hey, all right, Nifa Carrillo.
Your Honor, I wanted to talk to Mr. Joe Ray again.
Yes.
I talked to my client and I want to confer with him one more time.
All right, Joe Ray, could you go to the breakout room with Nifa Carrillo? And Nifa, I'm gonna move you to breakout room number 9.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Eric Reynolds.
Yes, Judge. Good morning.
Good morning.
Judge, I've got two. I've got Matthew Idrogo, who's with CTD. And Leticia Soto. That's a family violence case. Both are in custody. On Matthew Idrogo, I filed a motion to reduce bond. Excuse me. I spoke with Marcus on that case, Judge. He's also got a pending competency evaluation. So Marcus and I agreed that we would, renegotiate once the competency comes back, Judge.
Mm-hmm. So we're
And
not hearing the motion to reduce bond on Idrigo?
That's correct, Judge.
Okay, just give me one moment. And do you have an idea when his competency is scheduled? Has it been ordered?
Judge, I just got appointed on that a few weeks ago, and I filed the motion, so I don't even think there's been an informal inquiry yet.
Okay, just one moment. Okay. All right, so that's Mr. Idrago. And the next person?
Yes, Judge, I've got Leticia Soto. She's in custody as well. I spoke with Michelle on this case. They're still looking into a couple of things on the case, and hopefully we can come to an agreement to set her bond. Her bond company got off of her bond. I believe it's due to a missed payment. So Michelle's going to look up a few things. And sorry, Judge, we'll have an answer for the court.
Yeah, Judge,
Right,
I think, sorry, I apologize. I think we'll be able to figure out something this morning. I did want to confirm, I didn't see any violations aside from the non-payment, but I did want to confirm that there weren't any other bond violations.
Okay, the clerks can look that up and see if there's anything else in the system on their end, I believe. Okay, and then let me see which attorneys we need. Let me see who is in the breakout room. All right, so the people we have left in breakout rooms, and I'm going to move them up. I'm moving up to number 5. Roberto Ramirez is for Adrian Winters, and that's family violence. Justin Fox is for McGaffey, and that's family violence. And Julie Pollock is for Marino, and that's family violence.
She had a cut in her eye. That's irrelevant.
All right, Michael Goins, you're back. Are you still working?
Judge, I'm waiting for a standing offer from either Tom or Meredith.
All right, thank you. Hector Garza, who are you here for?
Stephen Miracle, M-A-R-A-C-L-E.
Okay, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 10.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is that with the prosecutor or with the client, Judge?
That's with the prosecutor.
Okay, great.
Your Honor,
Yes,
could I get into a breakout room with my client? We're close to a deal.
all right. So, Mr. Vigil,
Yeah, Vigil.
yes. Bill, if you could go to number 9, please. And let me just, there we are.
Your Honor, it's Michael Goins. May I approach?
Yes,
I just got a standing offer from the state. Can I go back to a breakout room with Ms. Fuentes?
yes. Let me see which breakout room she is in.
She was in 3, but she popped out evidently. She's on the main screen now.
All right, so what I'm gonna do to make it easy for her, I'm gonna move you all to breakout room number 11.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Now, let me give you this. If you can make sure that this is in the system. It needs to be in there today because they're about to close the dorm rooms. Thank you. Okay, thanks. Kelly McGinnis.
Hi, Judge.
Hi.
I'm here for Dimitri Lavalace. He's trial division. I think I need to speak to a prosecutor about it.
Okay. All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and the attorneys who are waiting on family violence prosecutors are Roberto Ramirez for Adrian Winters in number 5, Justin Fox for McGaffey in number 6, Julie Pollock for Moreno. All right, and then Karen Corby, I will place you in number 7.
I've been waiting in a breakout room for over an hour.
Okay.
And I'm asking to speak with Joe Ray, please.
Mhm.
Thank you.
All right, she's in number 7, Joe Ray.
Your Honor,
Yes.
we've reached an agreement on Mr. Vigil's case. So
All right, if you'll put that in the chat box, what the agreement is to Ms. Ferguson, and we'll
I
get
will.
that to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Raphael Leal,
Speaking, Judge.
yes,
I believe we have a plea, Judge. I'm not certain whether the documents have been signed yet.
all right, let me see, your client is
Leroy Gomez.
Leroy Gomez. Was the state informed?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Mr. Sanders.
all right, and have you sent the agreement to Ms. Ferguson?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. That paperwork has been sent out, Judge.
All right, Mr. Leal, I'll send you and your client to breakout room number 12.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And let me find Mr. Gomez. Mr. Gomez, if you go to number 12, please.
Judge, if I may, it's Michael.
Yes.
Your Honor, I believe we have Ms. Fuentes worked out on a plea. I'm getting all the information right now sent to Norma.
All right, thank you.
And that way also Tom and Meredith know what's going on.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, Michael, if you can just chat me, then I can start the paperwork.
Mr. Reynolds, you're back.
Yes, Judge, I'm back. I'm still waiting to hear from Michelle.
All right,
Thank you for checking.
sure. Karen Colby?
Yes, Your Honor, may I break out with Andrew Guerrero real quick, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll send you to number 7. Mr. Guerrero, you need to go to 7.
Thank you.
Judge, it's Rebecca. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, Ms. McGinnis, you're back.
Yes, Judge, I'm back.
Yes.
Oh, I'm getting, they're asking for me on this other Zoom. Can
Sure, no problem. Guys, Kelly McGinnis has just told us we come last. All right, Mr. Hernandez.
Good morning, Your Honor. I spoke with Ms. Wilkes on Stephen Willis. We do have an agreement for a temporary no harmful or injurious contact order. Mr. Wilkes,
I was going to say the complainant and defendant are married. Their son's getting married. He's supposed to stand in the wedding. So that's Saturday. So it's a trial run. We will allow them to have no harmful or injurious contact for that and to not be around any alcohol or other intoxicants.
There may be some alcohol at the wedding.
Right, but he can you know, he's on bond, so he's not supposed to drink. So that would be at his own peril if he did.
and Your Honor, for the court, Mr. Willis has been sober for 27 years. So he did have an alcohol problem in the past, but has been sober 27 years, he's told me.
Okay. So we want to change it to no harmful or injurious contact?
For Saturday. Just for the wedding. And then Monday, if he behaves himself and there's no conflict or issue, we can revisit amending it in total is what we discussed.
All right. And does the complainant want him at the wedding and want a no harmful or injurious contact?
She said that she wants him to have a no harmful or injurious for the wedding, that they want him to be at the wedding.
And the motive behind it otherwise, Your Honor, is there's some repairs that need to be done on the home. It's an RV home. And the complainant is deaf, and not just deaf, but the sign language she speaks is ESL and not ASL.
Okay.
So I've explained that to the state. I know they're trying to get in touch with her, but it's going to be a bit complicated.
Yeah, but for what we understand, that she's, you know, she wants him to come help and misses him and whatever. But I'd like to just do this a conservative approach until we see how they behave.
All right. So my understanding what the agreement is for the defendant to have no harmful or injurious contact for November 20th. Oh, is that correct?
If that's the date of the wedding, I believe so. Yes. Tomorrow. Yes.
Is that the agreement, Mr. Hernandez, for November 20th? Then after November 20th, it's back to no contact?
That's the agreement for now, Your Honor. And then Monday we can approach for some more leniency so that he can return to the home and the state can make what efforts to reach out to her to see if that would be appropriate.
We've already reached out to her. It's just the fact that I want to see how it goes.
Very well. And that's fine then, Your Honor. We can reassess on Monday. I've got no problem with that. And Caitlin, would you prefer that to be off docket, or would you prefer that I come in late on the docket just to?
I've got to be here, so it doesn't matter to me.
All
I'm not
right.
going
The
anywhere
court
for the
has,
holiday, so I'll be around too.
the court has signed the order, and it is the defendant can have no harmful or injurious contact on November 20th. No contact order is to resume with the complainant on November 21st.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Caitlin.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. You're excused.
Everyone have.
All right, thank you, you too. All right, now that we have moved up in importance on Ms. McGinnis's docket.
Sorry, Judge.
Oh, that's
Just
okay.
at the exact
I
same
understand.
time. I was waiting to hear my name for a long time on there.
Brenda, you know what? I can rest assured that whenever I call my mom, if she's on the phone with my brothers, I always win the phone face off. But I see with Miss McGinnis, I'm not gonna win a face off. That's okay.
I won't even tell you what court it was, okay? I'm not gonna tell you.
What's happening with Mr. Lavallee?
Okay, so this is his first setting after indictment, Judge. I think the last setting we had logged on pre-indictment to talk about bond stuff. So we're still getting some discovery on this. There's a lot that goes into it. I've conferred with Marcus. I know he has a family violence case as well. But I don't know that we need to confer on that just yet, because I know we've already provided an affidavit. I talked to Marcus about that one. He said there were notes in there.
And I see from November 2nd, it states here, defense counsel in trial in the 187.
That's
So
right.
I remember that.
Oh, yes, that we didn't even we didn't come for that one, Judge, because we were in trial. So.
All right, Norma, Mr. Lavallee, can I have a 1-month reset, please?
I'm going to show you my shots, please.
All right, we're going to come back. Let me see. He has 3 cases. I think there may be some slight. Well, there may be needed more time for you all to receive the discovery on the aggravated robbery cases. Mr. Lavallee, we're going to come back. Defense, we can come back either January 15th or, I'm sorry, December 15th or January 5th.
So I think giving us more time would be great, Judge, but Charles is not going to be here on the 5th, but I mean, I can be here, so that's fine.
All right, and it's just to make sure, Mr. Lavallee, that setting is going to be to make sure that the state has all the discovery. Your cases were newly indicted, and in this court, I require that the state to give an offer, and I require that the defense hopefully has all the discovery so that they can advise you as it relates to any offer that's tendered. And it also give the state a chance to look over both cases and tender a reasonable offer. So we're going to come back on January 5th then.
Okay.
And defense, if there are any motions you need the court to hear, of course, we're always here from Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
Okay, Judge.
Do you need to speak with your client?
I would like to, yes, please.
All right, after you finish speaking with him, if you could please have him come back to the main room, we need to excuse him from here.
Okay.
And everyone remember that's January 5th, 2022. If I say it enough, I'll believe we are almost in 2022.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Lavallee, let me see. What breakout room were you in, Ms. You're in 3. Mr. Lavallee, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2 to speak with your attorney.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Miss Corby. You're on mute.
Sorry about that. I need to confer with Joe Ray again. I think we have an agreement.
All right. Joe Ray, if you could confer with Miss Corby. Miss Corby, what breakout room were you in?
7.
Yes. All right, I'll send you to number 6.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll check my box. Mr. Fox, just give me 1 moment, please.
Sure.
And the court has received the paperwork, is signing the paperwork on Mr. Dale. So once he's sworn in, the court will take up that matter.
And Judge, he was just sworn, so he is.
Yeah, Judge, I swore him in. I just need to put all the paperwork together.
All right,
Before I receive it
awesome.
on IM. Thank you.
You're welcome. So as soon as they bring me the paperwork, then we will take up that matter. Okay, Mr. Fox.
Yes, Judge. So I did confer with the state. We're in ongoing negotiations as to Ms. McAfee. At this time, I'd be asking for a reset to be able to provide state with some more mitigating evidence.
All right, and you have all the CPS records, correct?
I do, Your Honor, yes. And then Ms. McAfee is on bond and she is on live with us right now and she hasn't had any issues on bond.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a reset date for 1 month, please? On McAfee. All right, we're going to be coming back on December 15th, and that will be by Zoom unless I am instructed otherwise by the state. And when I say the state, I don't mean the prosecutors, I mean
it's my last
working
working day before I head out to Europe.
Oh, you're heading to Europe?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
London, Madrid, Paris, Zermatt in Switzerland, and then Istanbul for New Year's.
Okay, I'm happy for you, but I'm jealous. You know, Paris is my favorite city, and I used to go every year, but I haven't been able to go.
Oh, you should, Judge. There's some good flight deals right now.
Okay, I'm going to look at that. You know, encourage my mom to go with me because I have to do a lot of convincing to get her to go. I'm like, your passport is just going to sit there. What is it?
Yeah. I'm taking my grandmother. It's just me and her.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome.
Yeah, we're going together. Had to get, she was like, I want to get out of the house. And I was like, all right, we're going.
Oh, that is so awesome. Have you been to Paris before?
Yes, yeah.
Don't you just love it?
Every time. So nice.
Has your grandmother been?
She's never been to Paris, no.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she likes Spain, but I got to get her to venture out a little bit more.
Okay, that is so awesome. You guys have a great, fantastic time.
Thank you.
And I always want to be in Europe and at least once in my lifetime go to Europe for the Christmas season.
Oh, it's so nice, Judge. I went in 2015. It's amazing.
Okay, again, can you tell my mom that?
I'll post stories so you can convince her.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Have a great vacation and great and safe travels. Do you have to have your COVID vaccination proof to go?
I do, Judge. Yeah. So I'm vaccinated and I'm supposed to get my booster soon. And then my grandmother's fully vaxxed and she just got her booster. I actually got her registered the first day that it was over 65 eligible. So I was on it.
Do they make you do a COVID test there though? And then you get to roam about?
I think they changed the rules. I have to check again, of course, before we fly, but no, it's just as long as you're fully vaxxed and you just have proof of vaccination, then you can fly into Paris and fly into Spain and all that. No problem.
Okay, let me know how it goes. And then,
Yeah.
we're going to have to get a petition together so that my mom will be convinced to travel with me again.
Or you should just executive decision it, Judge. You just get her the ticket and just say you're coming in.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just travel to every place in the world and say, I guess I'm going to travel by myself and we'll see what she does. All right. Well, have a great vacation and enjoy your travels and tell your grandmother, wow, that's awesome.
Thank you, Judge. Take care.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And Miss McAfee, you're excused. McAfee.
McAfee.
Oh, it's McAfee. Okay. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, you too. And thank you for your patience. All right, we're ready to take up Donald Allen Dale. And who is the prosecutor?
Michelle Hayden.
Okay. Brenna, if I don't go to the breakout rooms, this I think will continue to work. All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 9467, State of Texas versus Donald Allen Dale. If I can have parties announced for the record for the state,
Michelle Hayden for the state.
for the defense.
Patrick Ballantyne for Donald Dale.
And are you Mr. Dale?
I'm here.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Dale, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm showing you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
I believe we have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Dale, I'm showing you what's entitled True Will of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We so waive.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor. We're proceeding on the lesser included offense of deadly conduct.
Any objections?
No objections.
All right. And Mr. Dale, if you could do me a favor and move closer to your microphone because you appear a little bit muffled. Mr. Dale, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of deadly conduct? That's a Class A misdemeanor. The range of punishment is anywhere up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you are giving up these rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
I didn't understand you. I'm sorry.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent?
I do, Your Honor.
And do you believe he was sane at the time of the offense?
I do believe that, Your Honor.
Mr. Dale, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm noting on the docket, on the documents that the court is in receipt of, the defendant's signature appears as an NA. Was there a problem with the signing?
That shouldn't be NA on every signature block. I believe he was going to sign NA as to the judicial confession because he was pleading no contest. Did
All
it
right.
appear on everywhere?
Yes.
I
Well.
apologize. It did not look like that.
No problem. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have the paperwork re-signed because on all of the documents, his name is signed as NA. And what I can tell you Mr. Valentine, is there's an issue when you go in and you write no contest, or you want to write no contest, the computer is not generated where that can be done. So usually what ends up happening is the defense and state will tell me where they want the no contest plea presented, and if there's anything they want changed in the document based upon the no contest plea, and then I will go in and do that. So we'll have to redo that because on all of the signature lines, it's listed as NA.
Okay, my apologies, Your Honor.
Oh, no problem. Mr. Dale?
Yes, ma'am.
It'll be fine. Here's the thing. I always tell people, put some patience in your pocket. And guess what? Whether we are doing something else or doing this, time is still going to move. So it's not a problem. Mistakes happen. We're dealing with technology, so it's fine. So I already have the paperwork. I just need that re-signed. And watch this, Mr. Dale. Somebody else other than myself and you are going to have to figure out how to resend all this paperwork. So that'll be the state and your defense counsel. So we're in good shape.
Can I ask her, is that, does it say NA on the other paperwork, the
No.
application?
On his application for community supervision, it's written out. On the video conference, it's written out. It's just on all of the paperwork. It's not.
Okay.
Okay, so Judge, you just want me to redo it all? The
Yes.
pre-packet? Okay.
Yes. And then here's the thing. We don't need the exhibits and everything because we already have that. I just need where he signs on the documents.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Phil.
Oh, no problem. It happens. Oh, let me give you this so you'll have that with us. And that's plea paperwork that somebody is working on. Thank you. All right, Ms. McGinnis, you're done with Mr. Lavallee?
Yes, Judge, we've conferred. Can we be excused?
Yes. Norma, can you let them know that 16B can go back?
Thank you, Judge. Have a good Thanksgiving.
All right, thank you. You too. And everyone, remember, no matter what happens today with all the paperwork, today is Friday. You got to be happy. All right, Hector Garza.
Judge, I try to be brief. In conferring with my client, I think it's best if the court would allow me to remove myself from the case and have him appointed another attorney that is best going to be able to move the case in the direction that he chooses to have it moved.
All right, just 1 second. I need you to go back to that room and have your client come to the main room because the computer is not allowing me to move him to the main room. So he needs to come back to the main room.
Be right.
Okay, and let me see if I have any documents to sign.
Your Honor, they should be on the way.
All right, thank you. All right, anyone else ready? Okay.
Judge Karen Corby, we're going to be working on the paperwork on Andrew Guerrero.
All right, thank you very much. Roberto Ramirez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
I have conferred with the state again, and I conferred with my client. And I'd like to apprise the court of a couple of things that occurred, a couple of motions that were filed with a visiting judge, two different visiting judges. One was a motion to reduce bond, and relief was partially granted. The principal case, it was reduced to 25,000. However, it never got entered into the system somehow. So when he tried to make the bond, he couldn't. And then there was another motion to withdraw as counsel, in which he asked time to be able to go seek counsel. And his plan was to get out on this bond and then to go and talk to counsel and.
All right, let's
hire
take first things first.
Yes,
This is
Your
what
Honor.
I'm going to do. I am going to send you to breakout room. Sorry, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. If you'll wait in there patiently in number 1
Yes, Your Honor.
and find out where the motion is that was signed for
Okay.
the bond. And then once we take up the bond matter, then we'll take up his request to hire new counsel.
Okay, so you all are going to go look up the motion, Your Honor?
Yes, you need to go to breakout room number 1 and let the clerks know, and they'll see where it is.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And I've signed the paperwork on Fuentes.
I believe they're swearing her in, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And Eric Reynolds, are we still on Leticia Soto?
Yes, Judge, I'm here. I just spoke with Michelle, and I believe Michelle just emailed yourself and myself regarding her agreement as long as there was no other bond violations to the original amount, Judge, which was $50,000.
Okay, as soon as I receive that email, I will print it out. And I just received it. So just give me one moment.
Yes, Judge.
And your client was in custody because the bondsman requested to be taken off the bond, correct?
That's correct, Judge.
All right, Ms. Soto, I'm gonna set your bond at the agreed $50,000. All original bond conditions will remain. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you need to speak with your client anymore, Mr. Reynolds?
Yes, Judge, if I can get into a breakout room with her real quick and give her an update, and that'll be great.
All right, and if you could, once you speak with her, if you can have her come back to the main room, please.
Sounds good.
All right. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4, Ms. Soto. And what breakout room were you in, Mr. Reynolds?
I was in 11.
Thank you. All right, if you'll go to 4, please. And the courtroom?
Yes, Judge, it's Don
Yes.
Wilson. I'm here on a recall on Hillary Aliman from yesterday.
Okay, just give me one moment. Were you able to get in touch with her?
No, Your Honor, I left message on every number I had and talked to both of her bonds companies, but I have not heard anything back.
And have the bondsman had any contact with her since yesterday?
Not to my knowledge. I've been here, I'm in the courthouse in a seminar today, and so I haven't been in my office to see that.
Okay. All right, is your seminar all day today?
Yes, it is, Judge.
Would you like this recalled for Monday?
That would be fine.
All right, to give you more time to find your client. I'm aware that there are some mental health issues. Is that correct?
That's the notation I received from her misdemeanor court. This felony goes back, I think, to January, but she picked up a misdemeanor and was just released on bond a month ago. And I got the notice that there is some kind of mental health component, but I have not had contact with her since her misdemeanor arrest.
All right, is there a prosecutor available on Hillary Allman?
I visited with Brittany Sparks yesterday. We conferred about it. And she basically indicated to me after reviewing the file that she would rather the misdemeanor case kind of take the lead in this. The felony case is questionable. And so she's wanting to basically reset this case so that we can maybe resolve things in the misdemeanor court.
All right, Ms. Sparks, because there's some mental health issues and sometimes people who are in the throes of their mental health issues don't receive notice. And when I say notice, I don't mean that the defense attorney didn't give her notice or the bondsman didn't give her notice, but sometimes people are forgetful. So do you have any objections to this being recalled on Monday or Tuesday? That will give the defense counsel more time to see if he can find where his client is.
No objections, Your Honor.
All right. So what date is best for you, counsel? The November 22nd or November 23rd?
I would say the 23rd. That gives me Monday to try to spend more time tracking her down since I won't be in the office today.
All right. So we'll recall this for November 23rd. I am going to note defendant was a no-show. All right, thank you for popping in. I hope you're enjoying the seminar. Is that downstairs?
Yes, it is, Judge.
All right, I hope you're masked up down there.
Thanks, Judge.
All right, have a good one. Thank you for coming in. Thank you. All right, anyone else ready?
Your Honor,
Yes.
if I could go back in with my client, Mr. Rahil, I've signed all the paperwork, send it back, and hopefully he'll get his on his side, and we can sign it.
Okay, he is in number 9. All right, I'm sending you to 9. And
Thank
Mr.
you.
Reynolds, you are excused. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the baby. Happy
Thank you, Judge.
Thanksgiving.
Appreciate that. I will. Thank
All
you.
right, baby's first Thanksgiving.
That's right. That's right. She's hopefully she'll let me get some sleep, but we'll see. Have a
All
good one.
righty, you too. All right, Norma, Ms. Soto, L29 can go back.
Oh, yes. Judge Boyd, Hector Garza.
Yes.
Judge, I'm actually on another Zoom out of on the civil side. I was hoping I could address the withdrawal situation from Mr. Merkel's case.
Well, on that case, have you filed a motion to withdraw?
No, ma'am, this is just a conversation that I had with him moments ago. And again, we're just heading 2 different directions with the calls. So I feel he'd be best served being represented by somebody else that could carry
All right.
the case the way he chooses to.
You'll have to file a motion to withdraw. And Norma,
Okay.
on Mr. Markle, can I have a 30-day reset, please? right, we're going to come back on December 15th. Mr. Marco, can you unmute, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Marco, here's the thing. Your attorney is appointed to represent you. If you want another attorney, you need to hire one. I'm giving you a chance to hire one. I've been a defense attorney. I've been a prosecutor. Sometimes this is what, from my experience, I discover the issue to be. Sometimes the defendant doesn't like an offer that's tendered. If that's the case, guess what? In this court, I require the state to tender an offer. You can think the offer is ridiculous, but your attorney is required to submit that offer to you. And then once that offer is submitted up to you, you can reject it, you can accept it, you can make a counter offer. If you make a counter offer, your attorney will go back to the state with that counter offer. The state may think that counter offer is ridiculous. They may not accept it. Or you may say, I am not guilty. I want a jury trial. If you want a jury trial, this court will give you a jury trial. We're going to come back on December 15th for your case, okay?
Your Honor, can I say something, please?
If it's something that's disparaging about your attorney, no.
No, I didn't ask him to get off of my case. He asked to get off of my case.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna take care of that, Mr. Marco. Thank you for letting me know that, okay?
Yes, ma'am. And also, can I set a motion to set a bond?
Oh, what's gonna end up happening, Mr. Marco, is you have an attorney that's representing you. So your attorney will file those motions and the court will hear those motions. We are here in the 187 from 9 to 5.
But
Once your attorney
motion
files,
for
well,
me.
just 1 second. Once your attorney files the motion, we will place it on the docket as soon as it is filed. Sometimes people say we set it on the docket too quickly, but that's what we do in the 187. So once your attorney files the motion, we will hear it, okay?
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
You as
And
well.
thank you for your patience.
Yes,
Norma,
ma'am.
and how do you pronounce your last name?
My last name is Miracle.
Miracle.
Yes, ma'am.
Norma, can you let them know Mr. Miracle 14C can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Garza, we'll see you on December 15th.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else ready? Julie Pollock?
Yes, Judge, I've been conferring with Caitlin Wilkies.
Yes.
I thought I was here on a injury to a child case, but apparently it's a drug case. And I never received a notice of appointment on that one.
All right, that would have been appointed by the system. Let me see. What page is your case on?
I did not print
It's
out
like
the document.
17. Is it Luis Moreno?
Correct.
Yes.
On page 17.
Okay. Yes, that's a drug case. So there's a drug case and there's also a family violence case. So they're both.
I got my letter appointing me on the family violence, but.
So which case is going to be controlling, state?
We need to see, I guess, we think that probably the drug case, to be honest with you. I'm trying to get a hold of the complainant. They're homeless. But we are looking into some history. There may be some pending stuff out of county right now.
Okay.
And we need to look into that.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to recall this back for December 15th. And we will see about your appointment order. Ms. Fergus, can you check to see if Ms. Pollock was appointed to represent Mr. Moreno on his drug case?
Yes, ma'am, she was.
All right, you were appointed on that case, Ms. Pollock.
August 10th.
On August 10th.
I wonder if I could get a copy of that, if possible, but.
Sure.
We'll email it to you right now.
Thank you very much. So we'll be back on the 15th.
Yes.
And Mr. Moreno, I believe he's here. I will visit with him in the jail at some
All
later.
right. Thank you. Mr. Moreno, your attorney said that she will speak to you at the jail. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Moreno, thank you for your patience. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Norma L10 can go back. And we are ready on Fuentes. Who are the parties on Cheyenne Fuentes? All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 9809, State of Texas versus Cheyenne Fuentes. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre
For the defense.
Michael Goins for Ms. Fuentes, Your Honor.
And are you Ms. Fuentes?
Yes, I am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any
None from the defense,
objections
Your
from the
Honor.
defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Fuentes, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Counsel, I'm going to show you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Fuentes, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Fuentes, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand what your charge was? Possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams. That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
She has, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
She does, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe she is, Your Honor.
Ms. Fuentes, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
I am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. There are no applications. Thank you. State will take in consideration 2021 CR 9811, 2021 CR 9808, and 2021 CR 9810. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
Your Honor, there's been motions filed, but I don't think there'll be any that'll be appealed on.
Then to the offense is charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest, Ms. Fuentes?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Fuentes, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, only that you follow the recommendation made by the state of Texas.
All right, the court will follow the agreement, sentence you to 2 years in the prison, $1,500 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. Give you credit for any time served. Take in consideration 2021 CR 9811, 2021 CR 9808, 2021 CR 9810. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defendant, Your Honor.
Ms. Fuentes, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And also because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question as to what a weapon is, you'll need to contact an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Fuentes, I read the police report. If you have a drug issue, I can recommend you for the therapeutic community. What I can tell you is that the therapeutic community will not increase the amount of time that you serve at the jail or at the prison, but it will help you with any addictions you may have. You will have to request it if I put in a request for it. So would you like to do that or no?
What exactly is that?
It's to help. It's a form of drug treatment to help you if you have any drug issues.
No, ma'am.
All right. All right.
I
Good luck.
appreciate that.
You're welcome. How old are you, Miss? We can go off the record. How old are you, Miss Fuentes?
28.
All right, Miss Fuentes, you know, if you've been in my court, you've heard the speech, right? So you're 28. You still have more, hopefully you still have more of your life in front of you than behind you. But you're getting to that point. I'm telling you from experience, once you reach the age of 29 and you hit 30, the years just start flying by. So you have 2 more years, or maybe a year and some months. It's time for you to do what's right. Don't come back to the Bexar County Jail. Don't come back to prison. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Goins. You're excused. Norma, can you let them know L21 can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a wonderful day and
All right.
weekend.
Thank you. You too. And we are now ready on Donald Dale. Yes. All right. Just give me one moment. And who is the prosecutor?
Michelle Hayden.
All right, thank you. All right, just give me one. Michelle Hayden. On Adrian Winters, this case was heard when I wasn't here. It's 2021 CR 5999. The defense attorney is saying that a bond reduction was granted, but it didn't make it to the system and it's not written down anywhere. So
It wasn't one I conferred on. I'll check with Clayton, or not Clayton, Caitlin and Joe Ray.
all right, he's gonna say, oh, I was on your mind. Your husband is gonna
Oh
say
yeah, always on my mind. Okay, I'll ask him.
All right, we're gonna go back on the record in 2020 CR 9467, and we're going to start where we left off. And so, Mr. Dale, you had reviewed, I reviewed with you the court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit and admonitions. And where we left off was, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargaining agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm going to show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of deadly conduct. Punishment is to be assessed at 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. There's a $1,000 fine. State recommends community supervision. There is to be no contact with Jacqueline. There are a lot of consonants here. Garzaga, and I'm just adding.
Gorsica.
How do you pronounce it?
Gorsica.
Gorsica. Gorczzyca. A TAP evaluation, anger management, cognitive behavior class, 100 hours of community service restitution, and no firearms. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that, you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargaining agreement, the state is requesting that your term of community supervision be for 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation and the 100 hours community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense of deadly conduct, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments into evidence.
Any objections?
Your Honor, we don't have any objections. However, we would ask to amend that portion that is the defendant's judicial confession.
Yes.
To change the language from does admit and judicially confess to does not contest.
All right, any objections from the state?
No objections.
All right, anywhere else that the language should be changed, Mr. Valentine?
I believe that's it. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Dale, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right. The court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
State is fine with proceeding.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, we would just ask that you follow the plea bargain agreement.
All right, so how are we gonna address the issue? Because I read the police report. It states that the reason why all this happened is because they were drinking, and she told the defendant that she had dated a black male in the past. And from there, everything went downhill. So how are we addressing that issue?
Your Honor, Mr. Dale has a different version of what happened there. With regards to the relationship, the complainant in the case no longer lives in San Antonio. She lives in, I believe, New York City. There will not be any contact remotely or directly. With regards to Mr. Dale's opinion regarding her history, I would have to let him address that.
All right, and the reason why I bring it up is because we live in a world where there are black people, there are white people, there are Asian people. Can I get some more races from somebody out there? There are this entire world is a melting pot of people. And so if his issue was that he was upset that she said she had dated a black person in the past, he's going to run across people, more than white people in the United States. Like, I can walk down the street right now and I'm going to run into more than white people. So if that's an issue, I mean, I'm inclined to follow the agreement, but if that's an issue, that issue needs to be addressed. And I don't know, maybe there's no way to address it. Maybe it's just, that's the way he is and that's the way he's going to be.
Well,
I don't
Your
know
Honor,
if there's a class for that.
I don't know if there is. I can tell you that I have been working with Mr. Dale for some months now, appearing before your court, and you are, of course, an African-American judge. He has never
For
made
the record.
For the record. That's the extent of my experience with him and black persons, and he has not made any sort of a racially, any disrespectful comment, anything about you, even in the confines of the attorney-client privilege. As to his deeper opinions, I can ask Mr. Dale if he'd like to address
No,
that.
I mean, and here's my thing, Mr. Dale. When I place people on probation, I'm hoping that the probation is designed to address whatever issues brought that person here. So it appears from reading the police report, what brought you here is you and this person you are in a relationship were drinking. She let you know that she had dated a black male in the past. And then from there, everything goes, as my grandmother would say, to Hades in a handbasket. Then you pulled a weapon. So I'm trying to figure out what is the issue. Maybe it's something we can't solve. I mean, but I do know as you walk on this earth, you're gonna run into people of different races. When people go to the moon, which it seems like everybody now wants to go into space, you're gonna run into people of different races. I think people of different races have been to the moon. So there is nowhere that you can go on this planet without running into different races, unless you're gonna buy some property, live in a cave, and not grow your own food inside the cave and never leave the cave. So I don't know if that's an issue. If it is, how are we going to address it? I don't know if there's a class that probation can give you. I don't even know if a class will work. If that's the way you feel, that's the way you feel.
Can I say something?
Of course you can.
Well, the story is totally different. There was a African-American that texted me this morning at 8:30 and said, good luck. That's
Okay, so here's the thing, Mr. Dale.
one of my best friends. So
All right, Mr. Dale, let me just tell you, in shows, that's cliche. People always say, well, I know a black person, or a black person comes to my house.
I'll give you phone numbers. I'm not lying.
Mr. Dale, I'm just saying, I'm just going by what I've read in the police report. And I'm just trying to see how we can address these issues. I don't know if your issue that night was you all were drinking, and she said she had been with another person before, another boyfriend, period. It seems based on the age that you both have been more than with one person in your life. Maybe I'm wrong. That's an assumption on my part. But if it is an issue of race, that needs to be addressed. And I don't know if we have anything to address that. That's all I'm saying. You know you better than I know you. You know you better than your attorney knows you. You know you better than the black friend who you said just texted you. So I'm just putting that out there. So there we are. So are you employed, Mr. Dale?
Last 21 years at the same place.
Okay, what do you do?
I work for an engineering firm as a site superintendent.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. $1,000 fine, that'll be probated, 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. Suspended and probated for 2 years. No contact with Jacqueline, last name Gorczya, anger management, cognitive behavior class. I'm assuming that's supposed to address any racial issues. 100 hours of community service restitution. The court will deduct 40 of those hours if you obtain the COVID vaccination. I'm not forcing anyone to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 hours will be deducted. The court will not allow you to buy out the remaining hours. No firearm or ammunition possession. And if you have a question on what is or is not a firearm, you can speak to your attorney about that. There is to be regular Zoom reporting to probation. Regular UAs, or you can do the patch, and your attorney will tell you what the patch is. The patch does cost more, but there's less time constraints involved as it relates to the patch. I'm going to want field visits, random, 1 time per month, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Rebecca, is there anything else that Mr. Dale needs?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Dale, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
Absolutely not.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
I believe so.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Dale, good luck to you. I'm going to send you to a breakout room. Remember, people are humans. Humans are all over. All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3. And Mr. Valentine, you can go to number 3 as well, or you can be excused. And the probation officer will meet you in number 3.
Okay, and just one quick issue
Yes.
that we don't need to settle today, but there were 2 firearms seized by Converse PD. They are in Converse's possession. I'm going to be filing a motion asking the court to release those to our firm, and we will receive them and maintain them until Mr. Dale has completed his probation and is eligible to have those firearms again, if that's acceptable to the court.
Oh, just file the motion. You know, the court is always available to hear the motion.
Thank you very much, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Dale, if you'll go to the breakout room with probation, please. And Mr. Valentine, if you'll go to breakout room number 3 with probation as well. All right, Ms. Carrillo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
We've done, I think we're ready. My client has signed the paperwork. I have
Has it
signed
been
it.
sworn in?
I'm not quite sure if it has.
All right, Mr. Gomez, have you been sworn in?
Mr. Vejita.
Mr. Gomez?
No, it's not Gomez, Your Honor. It's Vejita.
Ah,
Vigil.
I don't see him here. All right, Mr. Gomez, have you been sworn in?
Ma'am.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
All right, thank you. And then the next one up is Vihil. All right, Ms. Carrillo, we're still waiting on the paperwork for Mr. Vihil.
Okay, yes.
So they'll see where it is.
All right.
All right, who are
Thank you,
the
Anna.
parties on Gomez?
Rafael Leal, defense attorney, Judge.
All right, and who's the prosecutor?
Mr. Sanders.
All right, Marcus, you ready?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Dale, you need to go to the breakout room.
There's no way for me, there's nothing for me to touch.
You need to go to number 3. If you will look on, are you on a phone? You're muted, sir.
I'm sorry, Judge, I do not see anything that guides
Are
me.
you on a phone?
No, ma'am, I'm on a Surface Pro.
All right, if you will click where it says more, do you see more?
Not on this one.
All right, what do you see at the bottom of your screen?
Participants, chat, share screen, record, breakout rooms.
Click on breakout rooms.
There it is. Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 9154A, State of Texas versus Leroy Gomez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Rafael Leal.
And are you Mr. Gomez? Could you unmute for me, please, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No objection.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection.
All right, Mr. Gomez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Counsel, I'm showing you the acknowledgement of discovery. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Next, Mr. Gomez, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Judge, we are proceeding on count 1, waiving count 2 and the enhancement paragraph.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
All right, Mr. Gomez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And just one moment. Everyone, just give me 1 second, please. Could I see the state and defense in a breakout room just briefly? Breakout room number 1, please.
Judge, you're muted.
Thank you. It's Friday. All right, Mr. Gomez, I'm going to show you again what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand what you're charged with is possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance, penalty group 1 over 400 grams? Range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 15 years up to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you enter a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gomez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. I'm going to show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am. I have.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on count one only. Punishment is to be assessed at 20 years in prison. There are no applications. The state will take in consideration 2021 CR 9155A and 2021 CR 9152. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement? Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am. I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged in count one, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Thank you.
Guilty.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea?
Yes, State Offer States Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No objection, Judge.
Mr. Gomez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Wavering Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes, ma'am. I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court will follow your plea bargain agreement, sentence you to 20 years in prison, give you credit for any time served, taking consideration 2021 CR 9155A and 2021 CR 9152. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if there is a question in your mind about what a weapon is, you'll need to confer with an attorney on that. Do you understand?
I understand.
All right, Mr. Gomez, good luck to you. We'll go off the record. Mr. Gomez, you know I give the speeches, right? How old are you?
I'm 27, ma'am.
All right, you're getting close, where more of your life is going to start being behind you than in front of you. You still have a chance to do right and to do better, okay?
Yes, ma'am, and I appreciate everything.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Gomez. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, ma'am.
Good luck,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Gomez.
Norman, can you let them know 17C can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, who are the parties on visual? And that's Ms. Carrillo. And who is the prosecutor?
Jury. Yes, Your Honor.
They told me they were coming with this. Thank you, Judge. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 9848, State of Texas versus Lupe Alexander Visual. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Del Rey Garcia.
for the defense?
Ninfa Gallegos Carrillo for Mr. Vigil.
All right, and are you Mr. Visual or Vigil?
Vigil, yes, ma'am. Mr. Vigil.
All right, thank you. We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Vigil, I'm going to show you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you
Yes, ma'am.
understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did. I understand it.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I understand it, and I electronically signed it. Thank you.
Counsel, I'm showing you what's entitled Acknowledgement of Discovery. Have you received all the discovery in this case? And did you review it with your client?
Yes, sir, Your Honor, I believe I have.
The court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Visual, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Visual, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments to Defendants, Waivers, and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did. Thank you.
Did you understand what you're charged with is injury to the elderly, bodily injury? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargaining agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
I understand that, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
I understand, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
In my opinion, I do believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe he's competent, Your Honor.
Mr. Vigil, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. I'm gonna show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 3 years in the prison.
Yay.
There's a $1,500 fine to be probated. State recommends community supervision. Take in consideration NIMAC number 615401. There's to be no contact with David Stanley, Stanley. And there's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you cannot be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver repeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
I understand that, ma'am.
Counselor, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 100 hours of community service restitution, and the BIPP course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense as charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
State offers State Exhibit 1 and all its attachments.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Vigil, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, all I want to say on behalf of my client is that that we respectfully request that you follow the plea agreement. My client is accepting responsibility for what happened, and he wishes to move on with his life.
All right, Mr. Vigil, what was your relationship with the complainant in this case, other than roommates?
He was my best friend. We've been friends for 15 years. You know, I was more like his provider, you know, try to help him. He used to drink a lot of wine, and I tried to get him to stop, you know, but it just kept bumping heads. I was in the right way, and it wasn't working out, man.
All right. When's the last time you had employment?
Last time I had employment was before I got locked up in August.
Doing what?
I was working for the Sun Beverage Company. It was like we make all the margarita mix for Bahama Joe's and stuff like that by Alamo Downs.
Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
What are their ages?
The oldest I have is 16, and the youngest I have is 5.
Are you paying child support?
At the moment, ma'am, yes, I was. They were taking it out from I get direct deposit.
Which means you owe back child support.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, so let's be open and honest.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
You haven't always paid child support.
No, ma'am, I haven't.
Usually when they're taking it out of your check, that means
our
that
arrears.
you are not paying.
Yes, yeah, our arrears.
So when's the last time you used any controlled substances?
Last time was when I came to jail for the less than a gram. Other than that, I tried to fly straight. I knew I was going to end up getting in trouble. So
where are you going to live?
I'm going to be with my mom.
Does your mom want you there?
Oh, yes, ma'am. We're in good terms. She knows I was trying to do the right thing.
Okay. How old are you?
35.
All right. You know, when you live with your mom, even though you're 35, that's her house, her rules.
Oh, yeah, I understand it. She knows.
So if she has a curfew for you, that's your curfew. You understand?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I sure do.
And do not be bringing strangers or other people in her house.
No, and mama's rules are mama's rules. I understand that.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 3 years in prison, suspended and probated for 3 years, $1,500 fine, probated. Take in consideration NIMAG number 615401. There's to be no contact with David Stanley, affirmative finding of family violence, 100 hours of community service restitution. 40 hours of those will be deducted if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. I'm not requiring you to obtain the vaccination, but if you do, 40 hours will be deducted. I will not allow a buyout of community service hours, the BIPP course, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors.
I'll bring some here.
There's to be regular reporting in person or by Zoom. Random field visits, 1 time per month. Random UAs. If positive UA, then we're going to start him off on outpatient treatment. Rebecca, is there anything else he needs?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Vigil, is there anything else you need from this court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I understand it.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And also because this is a felony conviction, and because there's an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
If there's a question over what a weapon is, you'll need to contact your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, with that, we'll close the record. Mr. Vigil, you need to start doing better. Your children want to look up to you, right?
Yes, ma'am, I understand that.
All right. And I'm sorry, Rebecca, can you add parenting classes for Mr. Vigil as well?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm going to add parenting classes. And with that,
Okay.
the record is now closed.
I have a question, ma'am. If I have
Yes.
a vaccination card, I just have to show that.
Show proof.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I'm going to send you to a breakout room. Probation will go over conditions with you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, may I be excused?
Yes, you may be excused.
Take care of yourself, Mr. Regan.
I sure will. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Vigil, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1 and probation will meet you there.
Thank you.
All right.
Sure, Ray, thank you.
Have a great one.
Take care.
Nika.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Oh, thank you. All right. If I don't have your paperwork, we're going to come back at 2. I know no one wants to come back at 2 on Friday. Mr. Ramirez.
Yes, Your Honor. I've chatted, conferred with, it was Michelle Hayden actually that covered the motion, and she is indicating.
It was me, Judge. It was a month ago. Sorry, I thought it was something recently, but
Okay.
Brenna said she was able to pull it up. I remember being opposed, but I don't remember exactly what Judge Hurd did. What Roberto said happened sounds correct, but.
Okay. So Brenda, can you tell me what the order is?
Okay, let me look.
And what was the date?
It was that the hearing took place
Yes.
on the October 19th.
Okay.
And then she lowered the 30,000 bond to 25,000. And then
Okay.
what?
So I just have cause number 2021 CR 5999.
Let me see what she called. Oh, she called 2021 6160.
All right, to the clerks, could I have 2021 6160, please? All right, so in that cause number, what did she do?
Let me go back down to it. Okay, she lowered the $30,000 bond to 25,000. She kept the $8,000 bond where it was. GPS full house arrest, no contact order with the victim. The GPS can be partial only for him to go to work if he should get out.
Okay.
Let me see.
Okay, and so this is the assault case, right? Yes. Okay, and the 6160 is the assault case.
Your Honor, if I may, I thought the 6160 was the arrest, evade arrest detention, and then the assault family second was the 5999.
That's what I have.
All right, so 5999 is the assault.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, I have filled it out. And then in 2021, 6160, it was denied, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, it is done. Is there anything else?
Yes, Your Honor, the motion for the, because what Judge Hur did was, she said, she allowed me time to then file the motion, which I did for the motion to withdraw, and then heard it on the subsequent hearing. And then it was another judge that heard that motion and granted it, giving defendant time to go and hire an attorney. And then it was defendant's intent to then get out on bond and go.
So which judge granted your motion to withdraw?
I don't know her name, Your Honor. I'll give you the date.
Judge Hur, Judge Parker?
I believe it wasn't Judge Hur. I believe it was Judge Parker. Sounds right.
All right. And does it show in the system that he is no longer Mr. Winter's attorney?
Your Honor, it's going to show that I was reappointed to the case, that the motion to withdraw was granted. And then subsequent to that, I was reappointed again to the case. Motion to withdraw counsel was granted on 11/3, and then defense attorney, then I was appointed again on 11/11.
And the reason why you were reappointed, Mr. Ramirez, was because you're still on the misdemeanor case. And the system reads that once you're appointed, and because you're still on the misdemeanor case, the system automatically reappoints you the same attorney. So you were already taken off, and then it reappointed you. The system said because he didn't have an attorney and you were still on the misdemeanor, it reappointed you.
Oh, I got you. Because I did not file that motion to withdraw on the misdemeanor case. I was focusing on the felony.
Okay. All right. So we'll take care of that. Norma, when can we reset Mr. Winters?
I can set them for the 15th of December.
All right. We're going to come back on December 15th, Mr. Winters. And I'll note you to hire an attorney.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Thank you so much. You are excused, Mr. Ramirez.
Thank you.
Judge, just to make it clear, do you want me to take him off the system, but it's going to reappoint him again because he's still not off the misdemeanor case?
Oh, are you withdrawing for the misdemeanor?
I did not put a motion to that, Your Honor, because it was the issues that we had were only on I figured if he hired an attorney, then he would represent him on everything. I did not file a motion to withdraw in the misdemeanor because I was focusing on the felony.
All right. Well, as soon as you withdraw from that, then we'll make sure you're out of the system here.
Okay, Your Honor. All right. That being all, may I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, Norma, you can let them know 16A can go back.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, are we ready, Karen Corby, on your case? Because otherwise we're going to come back. Well, it looks like we're going to have to come back at 2 because I always give Brenda her break at 12:30. That's as late as she can go.
I thought we had signed off on everything, Judge, but I'm being told that it didn't go through, so I guess we'll come back at 2.
All right, so
Can you
everyone.
Can you put me back in a breakout room with him so I can make sure we finish it?
Yes.
And advice to everybody in the room, don't get your booster shot and your flu shot at the same time.
Well, thank you very much.
I have a 100-degree fever, but I'm okay. I'm going to tough it out.